Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhana Jaya Gopi Jana Girivardhana Yasodhanandana Prajajana Jana Yasodhanandana Prajajana Jana Yamuna Tira Mantrani Yamuna Tira Lananda Jaya Avam Punjabi Havani Jaya Avam Punjabi Jaya Gopi Jana Vala Kiri Varada Jaya Gopi Jana Vala Kiri Varada Jasura Jana Yashur Nandana Jana Yamuna Yamuna Tira Panchari Jai Radha Madhav Tujari Jai Radha Madhav Tujari Gopi Jana Radha Yisvarada Jaya Gopi Jana Radha Yisvarada Yasur Nandana Prajajana Yasur Nandana Prajajana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Jaya Bhagavatam Seven Prabhupada Jaya Philosophic Srimad, the Divine Grace MC Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki, ISKCON Founder Jaya Prabhupada Ki, Jaya Vishnu Bhagavatam Seven Jaya Philosophic Srimad, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki, Prabhupada Srimad Bhagavatam Ki, Nitai Gaur Pramanande. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 4, titled Hiranyakashipu Terrorizes the Universe, text 22-23. What network are you connected to? Uh, Starlink is better. Starlink? Yeah. It's here. But you can connect to the internet. Yeah. Tasyai namostu kashtayai. The Canto 7, Chapter 4, text 22-23. Tasyai namostu kashtayai. Yatratma Harishvara. Yadgatvanani Vartante. Shanta Sanyasi Nomala. Iti te Yatatmana. Samahita Diyomala. Upatastur Hirshikesham. Vinidra Vayubhojana. Tasyai namos tu kashtayai. Yadratma Haririshvara. Yadgatvana Nivartante. Shanta Sanyasino Mala. Iti te samyatatmana. Samahita Diyomala. Upatastur Hirshikesham. Vinidra Vayubhojana. Tasyai namostu kashtayai. Yatratma Haririshvara. Yad Gadva Nam Nivartante. Shanta San Yasino Malaha Iti Te Sam Yatatmana Samahita Dio Malaha Upatastur Hirshikesham Vinidra Vayubhojanam Prabhu. Say Namastu Kashtaya Yachachama Hari Ishvara Yatgatvanani Vartante Shanta Sana Sino Malaha Iti Te Sam Yatatmana Samahita Dio Malaha Apatastu Hishikesham Vinidra Vayubhojana Tasya onto that. Nama, our respectful obeisances. Astu, let there be. Pastaya, direction. Yatra, wherein. Atma, the supersoul. Hari, the supreme personality of Godhead. Ishvara, the supreme controller. Yat, which. Gadva, approaching. Na, never. Nivartante, return. Shanta, peaceful. Sannyasina, saintly persons in the renounced order of life. Amala, pure. Iti, thus. Te, they. Samayanta atmana, having controlled minds. Samahita, steady. Diya, intelligence. Amala, purified. Upatastu, worshipped. Kirshikesham, the master of the senses. Vinidra, without sleeping. Vayubhojana, eating only air. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhagavatam Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Let us offer our respectful obeisances onto that direction where the Supreme Personality of Godhead is situated, where as purified souls in the renounced order of life, the great saintly persons go, and from which, having gone, they never return. Without sleep, fully controlling their minds and living on only their breath, the predominating deities of the various planets began worshiping Hirshikesha with this meditation. Purport. The two words tasyai kashtyai are very significant. Everywhere, in every direction, in every heart, and in every atom, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is situated in its features as Brahman and Paramatma. Then what is the purpose of saying tasyai kashtyai, in that direction where Hari is situated? During Hiranyakashipu's time, his influence was everywhere, but he could not force his influence into the places where the Supreme Personality of Godhead had his pastimes. For example, on this earth, there are such places as Vrindavan and Ayodhya, which are called Dhams. In the Dham, there is no influence from Kali Yuga or any demon. If one takes shelter of such a Dham, worship of the Lord becomes very easy, and resultant spiritual advancement quickly takes place. In fact, in India, one may still go to Vrindavan and similar places to achieve the result of spiritual activities quickly. Om Ganata Mandasya, Nanjana Shlakaya, Chakshumatamyana, Tasma Shri Gurave Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara, Shivasari Gaura Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. So the demigods have now approached are offering their obeisances to the Supreme Personality of God in order to check or to fight back against the influence of Hiranyakashipu, who has taken over the entirety of the universe. And Prabhupada makes the point in the purport that the demigods were meditating or praying in the direction where the Supreme Personality of Godhead is situated. Of course, Krishna is everywhere. In every heart and every atom, he is there as Paramatma. But they were specifically meditating on the various dhams, various places where the Lord has performed his pastimes. Because Hiranyakashipu could not force his way into the various dhams of the Lord, that he had no influence wherever the Lord was performing his pastimes. And Prabhupada specifically points out that in the dham, there's no influence from Kali Yuga or any demon. This is an interesting statement because, at least at first glance, it seems to be wrong. In the sense that, even in Krishna's pastimes, while he was here on the earth, there were so many demons that came to Vraj. And, there are the glorious pastimes of Krishna and Balaram killing these demons. And the residents of Vrindavan becoming fearful because of them. And then even beyond the pastimes written in the Bhagavatam, it seems that so many demons have been able to enter into the various dhams. We understand that those who are opposed to devotion are demons, and India and the surrounding countries have, of course, had a history of being under imperialism. It's not like when either the Muslims or the British were conquering India, it's not like they got to the corner of Vrindavan and couldn't take a step further, right? They were able to enter Vrindavan or Ayodhya. And then what to speak of, demons bodily coming in, the influence of Kali Yuga. We can even see sometimes enters into the dham. Right? It's not, at least speaking for myself, it's not like, you move on to Gita Nagari dham, and then your Kali Yuga upbringing or influence just totally stops. Right? There's still some influence there. So what is going on here? So there's several different classes or ways of looking at this. Of course, we understand that, in the pastimes that we find in the Bhagavatam, where the demons enter Vrindavan or Ayodhya or the other dhams that are there, this is part of the pastimes of the Lord. That one of the reasons that the Lord comes to the material world is that he wants to fight with demons. We, of course, understand and have heard before that everything that is found in the material world is found, is perfected uh, situation in the Supreme Personality of Godhead, because we are part and parcel of Krishna. So, how can there be something in us that is not found in Krishna? And as is obvious, humans especially, but many creatures have this fighting propensity, and we fight about anything and everything. Imaginary lines between countries, um, imagined or real insults between family members, or this and that. So this fighting propensity is also there in the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But if he is in the spiritual world, who is going to fight with him? And everybody in the spiritual world are very advanced devotees. There's none of this fighting uh, activities going on. The closest you might get is there might be some sort of play fighting between Krishna and the cowherd boys, but not a really, knock down, drag them out fight. For that, Krishna comes to the material world. And sometimes he even sends his devotees to play the parts of demons, like what happened with Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyaksha, as well as their various future lives, as Ravana, etc. So that is one of the reasons why demons are allowed to enter into the Dhams, because Krishna wants to have a very good fight. And actually, those demons entering the Dham allows Krishna to perform his pastimes, which glorifies the Dham even more. I've not personally been to Vrindavan yet, at least, but from my understanding, one can go and see all the places where Krishna fought for the various demons. Where he fought the Keshi demon, where he fought Kalia, all of these different pastimes, which glorify the Dham and make the devotees remember him even more. But what about, so that's kind of the easy example of how demons are allowed into the Dham. What about, the other examples? Why are demons, those who want to form nefarious activities, allowed, these modern day demons allowed into the Dham? And what of this influence of Kali Yuga that seems to be entering into the Dhams also? And kind of the perspective that I was coming to, I don't know if there's other ones, but the Dham isn't always necessarily manifest or apparent as a Dham to everyone. I've heard people talk before about, even my spiritual master say before, about the internal Vrindavan and the external Vrindavan. You go to these Dhams, it's not that necessarily the moment you step on, you are totally overwhelmed with Krishna praying. Of course, some very pure people who have become elevated beyond the material energy, it might be like that they immediately step into Mayapur or Ayodhya or Vrindavan, and their minds are so overwhelmed with the pastimes that occur there. They just fall on the ground in ecstasy or something. I don't think that describes most of us, where we might see the external manifestation of the Dhamma, that it just looks like, trees and buildings and roads, because the Lord, who is not different than the Dhamma, than his abode, is not obligated to appear to everyone. Sometimes these atheists, especially the new atheist types, say, "Show me God." If God appeared before me, then I would believe in him. Because he has not fulfilled this order of mine to appear before my eyes, then I won't believe in him. Of course, some atheists, you can say, go even farther, or at least more honest. Now, Richard Dawkins, probably one of the most cantankerous of the new atheists, has said, even if God appears before me, I will not believe in him, because I would just think I was hallucinating. But of course, we can understand that even if God appeared before them, how would they know? Right? If a dark-skinned cowherd boy playing a flute with a peacock feather in his hair showed up into the audience at one of their lectures or debates, would they recognize, oh, God has come? Or would they just say, what is this simple village boy doing at one of our scholarly debates? How could he even understand the philosophy that is being spoken here? But what obligation does Krishna have to appear to them in the first place? If I go even to the ruler of a country, right? If I demand Donald Trump appear before me, at this time on this day, this Friday, I demand that you appear at noon here at my residence at Gita Nagari. They'd say, like, who are you? Uh, who are you that I should appear before you? Maybe like uh, if the Prime Minister of Japan or England said, okay, you come here, it might be okay, maybe. But, just some monk at, on some farm temple, why should he appear? And if this goes for some rascal like Donald Trump, how much more so for the Supreme Personality of Godhead? So it's not always that the mm, internal aspect, or the internal aspect of the Dom is apparent. So when the uh, Muslims or the British came, even to Ayodhya or Vrindavan, they might it might be able to affect the external vision, but they could not touch the internal uh, Vrindavan or Ayodhya. And of course, we could understand that in the march of Kali Yuga, uh, the external vision is becoming more apparent. Uh, so they were allowed to change the externals a little bit, so that the people of Kali Yuga um, would be allowed to see these external changes and not necessarily have access to the internal Vrindavan. But Prabhupada also makes a point in this purport that the influence of Kali Yuga is absent from the Dhams. And this seems like the most surprising statement of all, because it seems that Kali Yuga is able to enter Dhams. Uh, even in our own experience, right? You go on the internet and Kali Yuga is there, and just for the relishing. Uh, and there's been so many different, what you can say, uh, inauspicious activities that have happened to or on or in uh, various DOMs. Different attacks, different scandals, uh, even within ISKCON has happened within the various DOMs. So how can we say that the influence of Kali Yuga is not there in the various DOMs when it seems that the influence is in our face all the time? And at least from when I have considered this point, the difference is that one must take shelter of the Dom. As Prabhupada writes, if one takes shelter of such a Dom, the working with the Lord becomes very easy. The result of spiritual advancement quickly takes place. But just because one is living on or near a Dom does not necessarily mean that one is taking shelter of it. One can view the Dom as simply just like any other place. This is a place where we're farming and we have these different activities and these religious activities. But I'll live here and draw a paycheck and have my needs taken care of. And we'll go on just like any other farm. But that is different than taking shelter of the Dom. And taking shelter of devotional service in general. So it is not taking shelter, ashraya, of the Supreme Personality of Godhead of Bhakti Yoga if we do these things in a perfunctory way. If we just kind of muddle along saying, oh, I say the right mantras, I, have, the right external trappings. So I'm set that I'll go back to Godhead just by having these externals. This is a kind of religious, but not necessarily devotional type of attitude. And this type of attitude, while it might be very pious, might lead us to higher material births, will not actually lead us back to Godhead. Because it's not simply membership in a certain religious sect that allows us to go back to Krishna's abode. That sort of mentality can lead to very strange and sectarian ideas. I've actually met people whose their philosophy, their idea was that if during your baptism you were dumped into the water, then you're good. You're going to heaven. If you were sprinkled with the water, then you're out of luck. You have to spend eternity in hell. Yeah, you can make a very confused face, and it is a very confusing philosophy. That because our sect, our specific sub branch of Christianity, dunks people into water during their baptisms, then that's good. So if you belong to our branch, you're this sub branch of Protestant, then you're good. If you're another sub branch, or if you're Catholic, then God doesn't like you. And there are so many examples that one could draw of this, but our philosophy is not like that. It's not, oh, you have T-lock and neck beads on. Uh, so automatically you get into Vrindavan, to Goloka Vrindavan. But you actually have to take shelter of the process, which means to change your consciousness. Of course, it's not that the externals are unimportant. And Prabhupada also brought the Vedic culture, which helps us along in the process of Krishna consciousness. But we do not end at the externals. We have to actually change our consciousness. And that's why it is Krishna consciousness, that we have to come to the platform where we are actually seeing the Dham as a Dham, seeing the holy name as non-different than Krishna, seeing the various aspects of worshiping the Lord, of serving the Lord, as doing that, not just other activities that we muddle throughout the day, but actually direct personal service to the Supreme Personality of God. And in that way, we can actually take advantage of Gita Nagari Dham here, which is also a pastime place of the Lord, just like Vrindavan and Ayodhya. And by purifying our consciousness, we can attempt to see the internal Gita Nagari, which is an eternal pastime place of Radha Damodar. So I will end here. We'll be having group puja at 7:45. Today is still Kartik. So, it's the last day of Kartik, actually. So from tomorrow on, we will resume our normal schedule of doing group puja after the daily groupings. So I'll ask for any comments, questions, additions, subtractions.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you for class. I have a question though regarding Damodarastakam. Will the final observance be this morning or this evening? Do you know? Or does anyone? This evening. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so today, is the last day of Kartik. So anytime today, one will still be able to come and offer a plan or meet with.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much for excellent explanation of the subject. When I was listening, I just became aware that you are in the age of Gurudev when he was coming to Poland and he was giving such excellent spiritually scientific explanations on this very intricate and complex subject. And you explained this in such a wonderful way. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I just try to repeat what I've heard from our spiritual master.
This is perfection.
Thank you, Prabhu. All right. Any other comments, questions? Yes.
Comment. Once Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati was traveling in Vrindavan with his disciples. Among them, there were some sannyasis also. So when they come to Vrindavan, some of them were not happy to see the situation, like dogs and pigs, roads are dirty and smelling. So they were complaining, Gurudev, this is not Vrindavan. All smells are there. I can see the dogs and pig smell is coming. Then Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati told them, you are not eligible to enter into Dham because still you are considering Dham on this material platform, this material level. Because entering Dham, coming Dham, is for purification, not to find fault.
Yeah.
So if you're coming to the Dham to finding fault, you are living still in this material world. You are not coming to the spiritual world. So leave behind all those critics and see, because everywhere Jiva is there, Paramatma is there. Maybe this situation, what we see, is we should think that I'm eligible to come to Dham or still I'm on that track. So, like you said that demons they came to Dham, like Ayodhya or Vrindavan, they came as a demon. But how a demon can enter into Dham because Lord Shiva is the protector of the Dham. They are coming to get purification like any other demon, like a Kalia or Kesi or whoever came. They came to disturb the Dhamvasis, but they get purified and they find a destination Goloka Vrinda. So they came for the purification to the Dham. So we have to take example of that. They were demons personified, but each and every individual is a demon. The demonic nature is there. So when we are going to the Dham, we should carry this thought in our mind. I'm going to purify myself, not to find faults.
Right, thank you, Prabhu. There's a comment about when we go to the Dham that we should have the mentality we're going to purify ourselves, not to find faults. And relating a pastime where when Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur went with some of the sannyasi disciples, they're starting to find faults, the external Vrindavan, and he chastised them severely, saying they were not eligible actually to enter the true internal Vrindavan Dham. We have a few minutes left. Is there any more comments or questions?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
I will.
Thank you so much for an informative class. So, with regards to perception of the Dham, we see that when somebody has a near-death experience, for example, or other out-of-body experience, they are perceiving external sense objects, in a subtle way, but they still, in other words, they're still able to perceive gross sense objects using the subtle body because of just how things are constructed. So, do you know anyone in history of Vaishnavism who has seen the Dham perceiving all the wonderful spiritual sensory stimuli while they still had their false ego covered over them? So, for example, like Arjuna, we see that Krishna gave him the eyes to see the universal form. So, do you know of contemporary devotees that even though they're not yet on the platform of pure bhakti, full Krishna prema, there's still tinges of false ego, and they can still perceive the Dham?
Yeah, so there's a story that comes to mind that Prabhupada told, but there was a thief who was hearing the recitation of Srimad Bhagavatam. And during the recitation of the 10th canto, he heard about the ornaments that Krishna kept on his body. And he thought to himself, Krishna's just a little boy. And it'll be very easy to take these ornaments from him. His mother lets him go out into the forest alone. So if I wait in the forest and just take some of these ornaments, and then I'm set for life because they're so valuable. So he started to make his way to Vrindavan. And he was always thinking, I must find Krishna. I must find Krishna. So when he got there, he was able to see Krishna and the cowherd boys playing in Vrindavan, and he actually spoke with Krishna, where And there's the whole conversation was, Krishna is complaining, like, oh, if I give you my necklace, then Mother Yashoda will chastise me for losing my ornaments. And there's a whole conversation. But from what I remember of the story, he was told to continue sadhana even after meeting Krishna, meaning that it wasn't necessarily on the platform of pure devotion, but just due to some mercy, or maybe some like Gata Sukriti or something like that, and the meditation on Krishna. As he was traveling to Vrindavan in order to steal from Krishna, he was granted at least some glimpse of the internal Vrindavan. So yeah, that story comes to mind. I'm sure there are others of even those who are not completely on the pure platform, getting a glimpse of Vrindavan.
Thank you.
Thanks. Dr. Prem, I see your virtual hand.
Yeah, Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you for bringing up some nice points in this regard. I just there's in the Navadvip Mahatmya by Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he talks a little about this point of like not being able to perceive the Dham with material vision. And I just wanted to read, he says, everything in Gauda Mandal, including the water, land, and trees, is transcendental. The three spiritual potencies of Sri Krishna, Sandini, Samvit, and Hladini are always present here. The constitutional nature of the transcendental Dham is a transformation of the Sandini potency. Sandini is a division of Swarup Shakti, of the Lord's internal energy. The Dham is eternal because it is the place of Srimad Mahaprabhu's pastimes. None of the functions of the Lord's inconceivable potency are material. Nevertheless, conditioned souls, misled by ignorance, perceive the Dham from the external perspective as merely the material world. One whose vision is covered by a cloud may think that a cloud is covering the sun, but the sun cannot be covered by a cloud. Similarly, although this Gauda Mandala is transcendental, one with material vision sees the Dham as material. Whoever gets the mercy of Sri Nityananda Prabhu will perceive the spiritual nature of the blissful Dham. Anyways, oh yeah, here we go. The shadow of the Sarup Shakti is called Maya Shakti, or the illusory energy. And on the order of the Lord, she spreads her power of illusion. Anyways, there's a lot, this book, Sri Navadvip Mahatmya, has a lot of this kind of like, technical details of how we hear there's a thin covering over the Dham. So you can be there, but you can be kind of like covered over and not be able to see it. So this Sri Navadvip Mahatmya has like kind of goes into this in detail, if anyone wants to check that out.
Right. Thank you, Prabhu. We should end here. We're in Puja. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.